What do you mean? Like there's footage of ships, right, going out in the sea, sinking in sinking below the horizon.
But things can get cut off from the bottom up on a flat surface, and there's also mainstream. Okay, so that there are different ways it can happen, right? Partially due to perspective, right? We can also have atmospheric effects such as sinking or inferior mirage. Okay, those are mainstream explanations and literally defined as things that would normally be visible, right, can appear to sink behind the horizon even though they're not physically obstructed. Okay, so that's something we can give you citations for. Then there can be ocean swells as well. Okay, then we can have atmospheric magnification as well. That can play a small role. And then there's a loss of perspective due to the angle of view, right? That can play a small role as well. There's turbulence. There's a whole bunch of reasons, dude. Right? None of them are curvature, by the way. And also, you're not seeing the amount cut off that should be cut off if the Earth were a globe. So it's kind of break the argument.
Yeah. How far away is?
What about any other example?
How far away is Chicago from the spot you mentioned? What's the distance?
If you take a telescope, the guy released
I gave you examples. You didn't watch them. You just laughed at them.
You not to interrupt, please. Like everybody interrupts here when somebody's talking. I don't know. Like I don't interrupt people when they talk.
Well, they get to ask you or make replies to you, and then I make my reply to you and ask you a question. But you waffle through me, and it's like, oh, well, why are we talking to each other? My question was, what's the distance to Chicago from the place that you mentioned?
Something like 40 miles.
Okay. From the observation point, what's the height above the lake?
What's the what?
Height, altitude, distance between the surface of the water and the observer.
Oh, well, the observer is like 7 feet tall, 6 feet tall, something like that.
Okay, so then the observation is made from 6 feet off the water, 7 feet off the water?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the distance to the horizon in miles with a 6 or 7 foot observer height?
To the horizon? I don't know.
It's 3 miles, bro. I'll just help you out quickly there to move the conversation forward. 3 miles from a 6 foot observer height. That's where the horizon should be, and you shouldn't be able to see any more water beyond that.
Like you can take a
How
telescope.
far away is the thing again? You said it was 40, 50, 60 miles. What was it?
From Indiana Dunes State Park to Chicago is like 40 miles, I think, something like that.
Okay.
And
3
the
miles.
skylines are cut off on the bottom. Like there's tons of examples of this. Like if Earth was flat, you could take a telescope and you could see shit that you cannot see normally that are in the distance.
I just posted it for him. 52. I just posted 52 miles away, Chicago. So he's wrong.
Okay, so 3 miles versus 50 miles.
1,800 feet of curvature.
Damn. And you're only seeing the bottom of the skyline cut off?
Yeah, even in the picture he sent, you can see the bottom of the skylines being cut off. Even though the picture is so low quality.
So it's just much bigger than what NASA tells us. So NASA are still lying then.
Yeah.
So it's just a bigger globe, is it? Is it a bigger globe than they tell us?
You're a really good flat earther, man. I'm glad you brought that up.
What do you mean? Even the time lapse that the guy sent looking towards Chicago, you can see the city.
Yeah. You shouldn't see it at all, bro.
What do you mean you shouldn't see it at all, man? That's
go learn the claim geometry of the Earth. Go learn the claim geometry of the Earth, and then come back and tell us that we should still be seeing that skyline.
Yeah, because the distance to the horizon with a radius value of 3,959 miles at 6 feet is 3 miles. You're seeing from 6 feet 50-something miles. You are not looking at the geometric horizon. You are looking beyond the geometric horizon. Your sphere needs a larger radius in order for that to function.
Now, what I'm saying, if the Earth was flat, right, you could see stuff in the distance, like about 50 miles.
We do. We do. Why do you think we're here? Why do you think we're here?
So how do you explain boats being obstructed by the horizon?
DJ was trying to, and you wouldn't listen to him. Do you want to try again, DJ?
Yeah, we can show you observations where there should be hundreds of feet of curvature and there's zero curvature. Okay, what you're showing is a huge distance. Okay, and there's atmospheric effects and different things that can account for that. Okay, it happens sometimes, and we can replicate it on a small scale. We can show things on a flat floor in someone's house disappearing bottom up when the weather conditions are manipulated in the room. Okay, it's called sinking. I can give you mainstream definitions for it if you need to. Okay, you haven't counted that out, right? That's literally fits the definition of what's happening there with sinking. And we can show you observations where we can see over like a 20-mile lake, right, with zero curvature over the 20 miles. Okay, and there should be 293 foot of curvature over that distance. Super clear conditions as well.
Like what's the math behind that?
Okay, so
wait. No, Samba, why do you keep reacting with laughing emojis to the videos I'm trying to show you?
Who the fuck cares? What do you care? What do you care?
What's the laughing emoji? What are you laughing at about that video? What's funny about it?
I tried to show you this 20 minutes ago.
The guy's triggered about me putting a fucking emoji on his video. What the fuck?
No. If I would be triggered about anything, it'd be a low IQ moron wasting my friend's time in here, right? You don't want to look at anything we're showing you that would help you understand this conversation
I have
better.
seen the fucking RC battleship video.
Right, then explain it. Then fucking explain it. Explain what's taking place. Explain what's
funny about it.
Explain it.
You're the kind of dude that takes fucking water in a cup and then sets it on a table and looks at it.
Cup in that video, moron.
It should have
Explain
been
the RC
round,
boat observation. Go on, Samba. Explain it to us.
Yeah, that's just stupid, man.
So you can't explain it. Basic observation.
I asked, what measurements do you use for the curvature?
There's no point telling you about measurements or observations when you don't understand how vision works and what influences
makes you think?
it, right?
What makes you?
There's no point.
What makes you think there's such a huge curvature? Like if you watch Chicago from the
basic mathematics. Basic mathematics based off the globe model. Okay, so right. So if you have a ball that has a radius of 3,959 miles, you can use basic formulas and calculate that over 20 miles there should be X amount of curvature just based off the size of the ball. It's not up for debate, right? Because they tell us the size of the globe. So over 20 miles, there should be 266.7 foot of curvature approximately. Okay,
how much?
266.7 approximately.
266.
Yeah, like a 26-story building.
Feet, 260 feet.
Yeah, that's like 120 meters.
Of curvature in height, over what distance?
Of drop over distance, yeah.
Over what distance?
20 miles.
20 miles, that would be how much?
34 kilometers approximately.
Over 34 kilometers.
Yep.
You should have 120 meters of curvature.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And put it this way as well, like if you're on one side of a lake and it's 20 miles across the lake, and you had the Titanic where you're at, and then the Titanic, right, if it still existed, were to sail over to the other side of the lake, you shouldn't be able to see the Titanic anymore when it's on the other side of the lake. It would be hidden behind the horizon.
Over a distance of 34 kilometers, the Earth curves approximately 7.5 meters.
No. It doesn't curve 7.5 meters. I'll show you the So go to Google, just type in Earth curvature calculator, pick any one you want, right? They're all based off the same math. Right? Or you can go to AI if you want to and just type in on a globe how much curvature would there be over 34 kilometers or 21 miles, right? But you can just go to an Earth curvature calculator, right? They're all over the internet, made by globe earthers. It's 266.7 feet, right? And then if you have a certain observer height, okay, then it changes a tiny little bit. Okay, it means the horizon will be a certain distance away. And I'll just show you actual real world observations to like go along with what I'm saying as well. Right, so this is 21 miles, a bit more than 20 miles. Great Salt Lake in Utah. Right, so he sets his camera up at 5 foot high. Here's the camera setup. Nikon P1000. You following along?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here's a screenshot from 2 different Earth curvature calculators. They're all going to give you the same result. It's the same math. Okay, so 5 foot eye height, target distance 21 miles. Okay, the target's just the shoreline on the other side. Okay, the horizon distance 2.7 miles. So the horizon should be 2.7 miles away. So that's the line in which the sky and the ground appear to meet. You shouldn't be able to see any water beyond the horizon. It will start to become hidden behind the curvature of the Earth. And then the shoreline on the other side, which is the target, okay, that should be obstructed by 223 feet. But when he zooms in across the lake, you can see the shoreline on the other side, right? You can also see a big giant white tower. Okay, there's zero curvature over the entire 21-mile distance, and there's no horizon at all over the 21-mile lake. All right, so you following along, Samba?
Yeah, I'm just curious how to explain stuff disappearing behind the horizon.
All right, so things can sometimes disappear behind the horizon due to different things like ocean swells, right? Because they're very common in the ocean, right? But when you're looking out over a vast distance in the ocean, they kind of blend in together, because if you're down low and you're looking out and you just see the tops of the ocean swells, you can't really see that there's ocean swells out there. So you can check the surf report, right? If there's ocean swells, things can disappear behind the curve, like behind the ocean swells. But sometimes we can also have atmospheric conditions, right? For example, sinking. Okay, so if you go to Google right now and you type in what is sinking refraction, right? The first response will be AI, Gemini AI, and it will say it's an atmospheric refraction effect in which something that would normally be visible completely appears to sink below the horizon.
Okay. But,
okay.
Can I ask one question? So
Yeah.
if I have let's say a telescope that's able to zoom like 400 kilometers in the distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If the Earth was flat, how come you cannot see? Like you could observe stuff on that distance with that telescope if the Earth was flat.
If the air was clear enough,
yeah,
you would be able to.
Yeah.
But it's never clear enough to see that far. In fact, if you check the visibility report in any location anywhere on the Earth, usually it's about like 15, 20 miles or something like that. You know, it doesn't usually get much more than that either. But in ideal conditions, like just technical ideal conditions, the furthest distance you can see through the medium of air is 200 miles, 300 kilometers. That's the maximum distance, just because air has a certain
that's enough.
opacity. Yeah, but that's in ideal conditions. Like, try to find me a single weather report where the visibility is 300 miles. Okay, now we can go up in a plane where there's less atmosphere and we can see further. And now we've got a guy named Jay Tolan. He goes up with $8,000 worth of camera equipment using infrared cameras, sorry. And he's able to see things that are like 1,000 miles away that should be many kilometers hidden behind the curvature of the Earth. Okay, he's done tons and tons of different videos where he shows you like, look, I'm looking over the Great Lakes in America, and I can see this mountain range that the top of the mountain should be way, way, way below the curvature of the Earth, right? So this is what we're talking about. We got tons and tons and tons of empirical evidence that doesn't match up with the globe, and there's zero observations to counter them. Zero
observations.
Never.
I mean, I kind of feel bad.
I laughed at it at first too. Yeah,
I kind of feel bad for you guys.
You can cope with it all you like, bro.
Guys, is the Earth?
Yeah, Earth flat. Earth is flat.
But anyways,
yeah, Samba, look, bro, you can just ignore what I said, and I can keep showing you observation after observation where we can see not just a little bit further, we can see like orders of magnitude further than you should be able to see on a globe. And then I'm going to hit you up for something that counters it, right? Something that matches up with the globe. And you're going to think it exists, and then you're going to go looking for it. And then you're going to have to try to work out how to deal with the situation, right? Because you came in here yesterday and told us we're coping, right? But you're the one that keeps coping, right? You're the one that yesterday said that the moon phases, right, is the shadow of the Earth on the moon, right? You say dumb shit like that, but you mock us when you're the one saying dumb shit.
I say dumb shit, but you guys have no map. You cannot explain.
You don't have a map.
I need one.
You don't have a map.
I need one. I need one.
You don't have a map.
We don't need one, Samba.
You cannot explain.
We don't need a map. We don't need explanations. We don't need them.
You cannot explain a bunch of shit that when somebody
we don't need to.
Single one thing, then
we can explain what debunks all of your explanations, right? We can just show you empirical evidence, right? So look, let's use logic here. If we can measure the Earth flat consistently and there's no curvature detected, right, that debunks every single claim for the heliocentric model, because every single claim for the heliocentric model requires the Earth to be curving. If it's not curving, then it's just debunks everything. So there you go.
Yeah,
exactly, Summer.
Yeah.
Lack of explanation for celestial phenomena, lack of a map, lack of a model, lack of all this other stuff does not falsify the measurements. Counter measurements would falsify the measurements.
Sure.
Yes, it's Samba.
Yeah,
so, I mean, you don't
exactly.
Have
You've got nothing.
I mean, you have even less explanations than us, because all yours are based on the premise of a globe that's rotating. And when we drill down on all that, we're going to find no evidence validating them claims. So you think you have explanations for things. All you have is drastic misunderstandings.
Right. And it's a projection because of the evidence of the Earth's surface being flat, like as what DJ's presented to you, that thereby nullifies all your explanations as incorrect, right? So it's a projection on us. Oh yeah, but then you must explain. No, don't have to explain shit, except for the measurements.
Falsification is independent of replacement. Hey, Samba, have you heard of the on my unicorn fallacy?
Bro, just chill, man. I don't even wanna debate this stuff.
And I wouldn't want to if I were you either right now.
Yeah, he's shell shocked, DJ.
So the on my unicorn fallacy occurs when someone builds an argument upon an unverified or an imaginary premise, treating it as established fact. It's a logical error of reasoning from within a framework that has not itself been demonstrated to exist. The fallacy highlights how reasoning can become circular or detached from reality when the core premise remains unproven. In debates about cosmology, for instance, it would apply to arguments that presume the existence of a globe Earth, aka the unicorn, and then use that unverified unicorn/assumption to explain observations before discussing what happens on the unicorn. One must first demonstrate that the unicorn itself exists.
He put his fingers in his ears just before you finished.
What a clown. Such a shame. You go through everything so meticulously, DJ, regarding optics, and they just don't get any of it, unfortunately. Or they refuse to get it. Too damning.
And that's basically self-preservation. You run cog disk through your brain for too long, it's going to actually, damage it. So he's probably better off with those Stefan thing.
So what happened was, is his mom got his shoe size and then purchased 2.5 foot long clown shoes and gave him clown shoes to go to school with. Now everyone is telling him, no, that's not your actual foot size. But what he ends up doing is saying, yeah, huh? Because when I stick my foot in my shoe, my toes touch the toe of the shoe. I feel it. I touch it. And they're like, nah, bro, your foot's not 2.5 foot long. Yes, it is. It fills the shoe. Except in this case, I see a flat earth, but it's not a flat earth. It's a globe. And then gives you all of the flat earth proof and then says, see, look, it's a globe.